This is Tsurpu Monastery in central Tibet, center of the main school of Tibetan Buddhism, the Karma Kagyu.
In 1966 it was completely destroyed. None of its 900 monks survived here.
But in 1980, 5 monks began to rebuild it. Life returned to the ruins. A difficult task. Not only do the Chinese try to cut off the supply of timber for rebuilding, but Buddhist teachers still alive who have the old knowledge and wisdom are also very rare. Only a few monks escaped the communist massacres, either by going into hiding or by abandoning their spiritual calling. 2 of the survivors came to Tsurpu at the request of the younger monks. Now, they are imparting their wisdom to a new generation.
We can't say when we'll finish the work here, but it is the wish of our leader, the Venerable Drupal Dechen Rinpoche, that everything must be as it was before the destruction. We hope we will live to see it done. The motivation of everyone working here is clear, strong, and purely religious.
In 1982, the monks received permission to rebuild from the Chinese. Since then, a Tibetan bookkeeper has kept track of every donation and every hour of work done, by order of the Chinese officials. He knows exactly where the money and the materials come from.
Drupal Rinpoche returned from exile in India in 1984 to direct the rebuilding. We only received a small government subsidy at the beginning. Therefore, Rinpoche travels for months at a time through northern and eastern Tibet to collect donations as he is doing now. The people give mainly butter, cheese, tsampa, rice, yaks, horses, sheep, and also money.
We set off to look for him. Tibet is as large as Western Europe, but there are hardly any roads.
So it will not be easy to find Rinpoche, but the farmers know him. They have heard of his work even in regions far from the Tsurpu Valley.
I live from the sale of grass and clay for brickmaking. Others give more for the monastery than I can.
The terrible starvation caused by collective farming became a thing of the past ever since the Chinese allowed the farmers to work independently again. Today, they produce a surplus of barley, as they did before the Chinese occupation.
We do everything we can to preserve Buddhism. Everyone gives something for the reconstruction of the monasteries, even if it is only a pittance.
What do you get out of the reconstruction of the monastery?
You can call it superstition, or you can see the monastery as a social institution, depending on your way of looking at things. The High Lamas have fled to other countries. We who stayed behind are doing everything here in the hope that they will return someday. We're not helping the monastery just to improve our own standard of living. We're doing it in order to save our channel to the spiritual world in which we trust. Everyone has a monastery to which he feels he belongs, even when it is in ruins.
9/10 of all former monasteries are still ruins.
Or are used for other purposes.
Only 25 years have gone by since the communists forced their way in here, abducted and murdered the monks, and forced the people to destroy their beloved sanctuaries.
The order came from Mao Zedong. He had the delusion of substituting himself for Buddha.
To replace the religious with the material in Tibet.
He attempted to obliterate spiritual by military power.
By 1966, more than 6,000 monasteries were ravaged, each once a school or university. The Chinese destroyed 93% of these schools and killed nearly all the monks.
The Chinese aim was to wipe out the intelligence of the Tibetan people.
To date, more than 1 million Tibetans have been murdered or starved to death in concentration camps, and the terror still goes on. We know nothing about what happened to the lamas of that time.
This generation does not even know what their monastery looked like.
Much less of what was taught there.
The search for the Rinpoche of Tsurpu proves to be difficult.
Tibet, made up of the 3 provinces, Ulsan, Amdo, and Kham, is 10 times larger than Great Britain.
The few roads are passable only by jeep.
The yaks are the best means of transport because they don't need roads. They provide milk, butter, meat, fur, wool, medicine, and many other things. They are the least demanding cattle on Earth, able to live at an altitude of 12,000 feet. Tibetans could not exist without them.
Was the Rinpoche of Tsurpu here?
He was in the village over there.
Did you see him?
I didn't myself, but my family did.
Why do you wear a picture of the Dalai Lama on your head?
He is my protector.